Welcome to this update rundown for Lands of Icaria version 2.4.0.0. With this, we update to Minecraft version 1.21.4 and NeoForge version 21.4.135. As always, this update brings you additions, updates and fixes. Let's get started. Let's start with additions. Chiseled Dolomite was added as an additional building block. This completes the Dolomite building block family. We also added buttons and pressure plates. This completes the building block families for each wood type. We added the Totem of Undying. This is a Lands of Icaria alternative to the vanilla Totem of Undying. Like our other totems, it offers 4 uses instead of only 1. We added several recipes that use Icaria item alternatives as crafting ingredients. With this, the target block can be crafted using a spelled bay block, the grindstone can be crafted using smooth relic stone slabs, and the bundle can be crafted from Eternahide and Arachne string. Also new stone cutter recipes were added to cut tile stairs, tile slabs and tile walls from relic stone and relic stone bricks respectively. Also to cut brick stairs, brick slabs and brick walls from granite, yellowstone, silkstone, sunstone, void shale, bitume, relic stone and plateau shale respectively. New forge recipes were added to forge vanilla ores and vanilla raw materials into their respective ingots, and to forge vanilla tools and vanilla armor into their respective nuggets. New grinder recipes were added to grind closed eye blossoms into grey dye and open eye blossoms into orange dye. New kiln recipes were added to fire clay into terracotta, clay balls into bricks, and red sand and sand into glass. A new advancement for finding and killing a Heliastra was added. And last but not least, a heal command was added to either heal the player fully or heal him in certain amount for debug purposes. Let's continue with updates. The Capella horn we added in the last version now plays a sound when used. The Totem of Unblinding now removes blindness and darkness effects when the totem gets equipped after the effect has already been applied. Prior, it would only remove the effects when already equipped before any effects were added to the player. Also, the Totem of Unblinding no longer triggers when hit with a blindness or darkness effect despite the player already has a running blindness immunity effect. The Totem of Unshattering now repairs and prevents the maze from shattering. Also, the Totem of Unshattering now is only consumed when damage would be dealt to an item. Prior, it would be also triggered when the damaging action was cancelled. Our Icaria cake variants now support placing candles on them. Candle cakes can be lit and extinguished in different ways. Our troughs now support being filled with powder snow from powder snow buckets. Greek fire is waterlogged now and no longer does extinguish in rain. Vanadium steel bars, grain glass panes, silk glass panes, our troughs, fences, ladders, slabs, stairs, trapdoors and walls are waterlogged in Mediterranean water now. Lignite blocks, andesite blocks, forest moss blocks, scrubland moss blocks and steppe moss blocks now catch fire and burn to be in line with vanilla coal and moss blocks. Forest takes now have a chance of spawning and getting aggressive towards the player when said player breaks stripped logs. Deadlocks, fertilized farmland, horizontal grain glass panes, horizontal silk glass panes, horizontal vanadium steel bars, triple barrel racks and troughs no longer trick mobs into thinking they could path them. Therefore, mobs no longer get stuck behind them. Arachnes, Arachne drones, Mimica drones, Mimica queens, Mimica soldiers, scorpions, solifugays and Wangaroons are considered arthropods now. This means they take more damage from Bane of Arthropods enchanted tools and weapons. Similar to this, Revenants are considered undead now. This means they no longer take damage when running out of air underwater, they ignore poison and regeneration effects, invert heal and harm effects, don't get attacked by the Wither, take more damage from smite enchanted tools and weapons, and scare armadillos in their vicinity. The Garden Cactus can be picked, carried and placed by Endermen now, similar to how they do with the Vanilla Cactus. Onion, physalis, spelt and strawberries can be harvested and planted by villagers now. Also, garlic, onions, physalis, spelt and strawberries can be picked up by villagers now. Icaria farmland and fertilized farmland can now be used by villagers to plant crops on. Dry lakebed no longer turns into farmland when tilled. It now turns into coarse marl, so all marl variants can be obtained from it, since coarse marl can be tilled into marl and marl finally into farmland. Fallen Leaves and Icaria Vine variants are mined a little faster using swords now, similar to how Leaves and Vanilla Vines are mined a little faster using swords. Thrown Bidons break decorated pots when hit now. Also, thrown Tridents and Bidons break loot vases when hit now. Bidons, daggers and scythes break decorated pots now. Icaria pickaxe variants yield the maximum drop amount for amethyst clusters now, just like vanilla pickaxes do. The Laurel Wreath can now be enchanted with Curse of Binding and Curse of Vanishing like other equipables. Eternahide boots now allow walking on powdered snow without sinking in. This also grants the light as a rabbit advancement, just like leather boots do. Granite can now be used as an alternative crafting and repair material to cobblestone. The fletching table recipe using chert can now also use bamboo planks, cherry planks and other modded planks. Loam can now be used by sniffers to dig items from. Heliasters can be eaten by frogs now. Ground flowers attract bees and can be fed to bees now.
Cotton cactus can be fed to camels now.
Spelt seeds, strawberry seeds and physalis seeds can be fed to chickens and parrots now. Spelt can be fed to cows, goats, horses, llamas and sheep now. Vineberries and strawberries can be fed to foxes now. Spelt bale blocks can be fed to horses and llamas now, and spelt bale blocks can also be used to tempt llamas now. Laurel cherry cakes, strawberry cakes, physalis cakes, vineberry cakes and vine sprout cakes can be fed to pandas now. Onion and garlic can be fed to pigs now. Eterna stew, kartoffelpasta stew, server stew and sow stew can be fed to wolves now. The advancements for placing a forge, a grinder, a kettle, a kiln and obtaining a molybdenum steel pickaxe are goals instead of tasks now. The advancements for killing an arachnocrine and a captain revenant are challenges instead of tasks now. These also return 100 experience as an additional reward. Beneficial potion effects from kettle concoction last longer now. Carried barrels and loot vases no longer dismount from the player when said player leaves the world or disconnects from the server. They are now saved with the player and also joined back into the world when the player does. Let's continue with fixes. A critical game crash was fixed that occurred when an enderman picks and hauls a tinted block, for example grassy marl. Breaking particles for fallen leaves, moss and twigs were missing. This is fixed now. Also breaking particles for potted fern used the wrong texture. This is also fixed now. The cotton cactus textures were glitching. This is fixed now. Animals no longer glitch in size when they are being spawned or when they are growing. Block interactions didn't play the swinging player hand animation. This is fixed now.
Editing placed chest labels on Icaria chest variants didn't update properly for other players on servers.
This is fixed now. Arachne and Revenant spawners couldn't be placed on each other. This is fixed now. Revenants are no longer unable to walk through doors. Revenants spawn from the kettle no longer spawn without armor. Forest hags didn't get aggressive towards the player as intended when said player breaks logs. This is fixed now. Silk sand didn't mine faster with shovels. This is fixed now. Coarse marl and dry lake bed couldn't be tilled when another block was above. This is also fixed now. Waxing an Icaria chest variant with honeycombs didn't consume the honeycomb in survival mode. This is fixed now.
Totem activation effects didn't display properly for other players on servers.
This is fixed now. The arrow recipe using chert no longer returns only one arrow instead of 4. The book recipe using Eternahide is shapeless now. The garlic and the laurel cherry drop rate both were lower than intended. This is both fixed now. The vanadium steel dagger no longer has a double loot table entry in the lost loot vases. And last but not least, German translations for vanadium steel bars, potted purple stackhorn, potted yellow stackhorn, potted blue storm cotton, potted pink storm cotton, potted purple storm cotton, potted large brown ground shrooms, totem of unsinking and the anti-gravity flask are fixed now. This wraps up this update rundown for Lands of Icaria. We hope you enjoyed and see you next time.